Hello, guys. Welcome to Ashley, a Lancelot show. It's been a while I did a D&D video. I want to do some more D&D video. As you can see, I'm still working on my studio right now. Painting on the other side. I got my 3D printer still going and everything else. This is Dungeons and Dragons to change evil races due to racial stereotypes. I'll put the article down below, so from Global News. I'm gonna read some of it for you guys and tell you what I think about it. Personally, I believe they should still I don't really see the racial stereotype in these. These are evil races for a reason. For example, a drow worships the evil spider queen, Lilith, and the orcs are basically monsters. There's different reason why how they came back. And the Hobbit, they came from dead elves. D&D, I don't know how they came in D&D, but with a lot of these races in D&D, they were based off of the J.J.R. Tolkien books. These are basically different aspects of human lives. All the hatred and evil go into the orcs, the logic. It goes to the elves, a whole bunch of stuff like that. If you want to go read more into it, I would prefer you guys read the articles and stuff. For me, I will probably buy the new 5e Player's Handbook and review it. And the books after that, after they make that, I probably will not buy any more 5e books after that. I'm probably gonna go back to D&D 3.5. I think 3.5 is one of the best D&D books that are out there right now. I do have AD&D, Dungeon Crawl is another 3.5 module. Pathfinder 1 is pretty good too as well. I'm sorry, Pathfinder 1 is pretty good. Pathfinder 2, I'm still having a little trouble about because it's like making a love child with a 4th edition and 5th edition together. So it is like, it's very easy for players, and I like a challenge in my role-playing session, especially if I'm DMing it as well. I'm gonna read this. This is from Josh K. Ellett from Global News. The publisher D&D says it was adjusting the way it portrays some of its evil races, such as the savage orcs and the deprived dark elves, a part of border pushing against racism in the wake of George Floyd's death. Okay, I'm going to continue. I'm going to put more into it. The game publisher Wizard of the Coast says the move is part of a company-wide effort to address content that does not reflect who we are today. Wizard previously made changes to Magic the Gathering, another of its game. There were races problematic cards from circulation. With the Magic the Gathering, they have racial symbols and the Ku Klux Klan on the card. I understand that, and those are pretty damn old cards, and I own some of them as well that I'm going to pretty much sell because they're worth over $1,000. And yeah, that's different than the actual races from the orcs and the drows and so on as well. For that, it changes the D&D will affect the role-playing game RPG and the wide range of novels inspired by the game. Throughout the 50-year history of D&D, some of the people in the game, orcs and drows, being two of the prime examples, have been characterized as monstrous and evil, using descriptions that are painfully reminiscent of how real-world ethnic groups have been and continue to be degenerated. Wizard said in a statement, "That's just not right, and it's not something we believe in." Okay. Orcs. You can have an evil orc, you have a good orc. Usually they're evil in nature because where they are at, like caves and so forth as well. Orcs always have been depicted as an evil race, and I'm still gonna have orcs as an evil race. There are some exception of an orc that are good. Even though they might be evil to what other players sees it, to orcs they're good and see them as a disease. Just like World of Warcraft, for example. The drows, they think they're doing for good, but for us it looks evil. They're worshiping a freaking spider, the spider queen. Spider queen, I forgot what she believes, what's her actual deity powers are, but Still, the company says the current version of RPG, known as 5th edition, was designed to include a wide range of ethnicity, gender, identity, sexual orientation, and beliefs. We have all that. We have gender, we have identity, we have sexual orientation, and beliefs. We have that in every single book as well. I think they're going to put in more stuff for sexuality and identities, and for gender identities. I don't care if you do. I don't care if your character is a gay, lesbian, or transgender. And I have characters that have that in the game. I don't really care about it. The beliefs, basically, your gods, the deities and stuff. There are evil gods. There are good gods, for crying out loud. Some of his race are still steeped in old stereotypes, despite his conscious effort to the contrary. So you're gonna have a human in D&D means everyone, not just fantasy version of Northern European, Wizard said in a statement. So I'm guessing they're gonna put in the Oriental. They had 3.5 have an Oriental guide for D&D, and if you can make whatever color skin, whatever it is, doesn't tell you, you know, they're just called humans. They don't call them, you know, African Americans or Asian, you know, because we don't care. It's fantasy. It's a make believe. In my opinion, the game has been accused in the past of using radically tinged language for the characterization of orcs, a muscular green skin, toothed species found in many other fantasy worlds, including Lord of the Rings and Warcraft. Well, basically, they were more pig-like in the original, in Lord of the Rings, and the original D&D. They were more a pig-like head with tusks. That overwhelmed, then they reimagined the orc later on down the years. Wizards are also pledged to take a more nuanced approach with the way it's portrayed. Draw a race of dark-skinned elves that are depicted as evil, claw-dwelling murderers. That the company's most famously fictional character, a drow named Drizzt Do'Urden from the Forgotten Realm, is commonly presented as the one exception, a hero who overcame his evil creature to become a good person. That is actually not true. There are others. There are very few of them that actually venture off. Drizzt is from the Forgotten Realm series for that, and there's other drows that I have players that play good drow as well, long as they have a very good storyline on how they became to be. Wizards say we'll try to present these races as just as normally and culturally complex as other people in both the RPG games and in various works of fiction. Also pledged to loosen up RPG games rules around radical bonuses, which previously deemed certain species to be stronger, smarter, or more agile than the others. That's the whole point of different races. Human and orc is not the same. Orc is more muscular and has more of a constitution fortitude. That's right. Human is basically an average stat. They'll get bonus skills or an extra feat. In that matter, if I'm going by 3.5 rules, 5e, I gotta go grab the player's handbook in the back. The elf will get the intelligent and having a minus and dexterity and -2 in constitution. Dwarves gets constitution and I think -2 in charisma, I believe. It's like that. They're different races. They're not humans. It's a fictional character. It's a fictional make-believe character. Human, orc, elves, halfling, dwarves, freaking. You know, there was like I forgot one of the books in the 3.5 and 4th edition. You have different types of elves, like the Arctic elves, the forest elf, the drows, the high elves, the woodland elves. You know, and you got the different types of dwarves. You know, you got the dark dwarves. I forgot how to pronounce their name and stuff like that. I'm hoping they don't do this, but I'll probably buy and review it. I will like it. Wizard also promised to certify the way it portrays the Vasatina, a race that echoes some stereotypes associated with the Romani people in the real world. The company said it has enlisted Romani consultants to help it avoid reductive tropes. The hell is Isatini. I never heard of this race for playing over 20 years of D&D. 5e. Let me take a look at this. So it's a human variant, so like a Egyptian, like a gypsy from the what you call it, the Curse of Strathold from Romania. Freaking. Wizard of the Coast says works hard to recruit more writers and artists from diverse pools of candidates so that it can bring a more nuanced and inclusive approach to its Final Fantasy storytelling in the future. I'll put this link down the bottom. You can guys read it and everything else for that as well. For me, it's a make-believe, it's fantasy. Even though they change it, they're still gonna have that backlash. I'll guarantee you, when that book's out, there's gonna be a huge backlash that's still racist. It doesn't cult do it to me. We see it in video games. We say so they're going to try to change everything from Magic the Gathering, from the races and everything else. The racial bonuses. Well, they did have a removal of racial bonuses. We call that hardcore D&D, when you don't have any racial bonuses at all. And hardcore D&D is one shot, you're gone. That's it. That's it. That's what it was back then. But the races in storytelling, so there's a lot of story and history with the drows. Not much with the orcs, but I know there's a lot for the drows and how sophisticated and the houses they were in and who takes what, and the different levels of the Underdark. They have a whole book of that in the Forgotten Realm. They have a whole book of that in 3.5. They only have one book on in the 5th edition. I don't know about the 4th edition. I didn't really like the 4th edition. I tried it out for that as well. But it's a fantasy game. They want to do this, that's fine. I just don't buy the books. Right now I'm slowly buying 3.5 and I'm just gonna play 3.5. It depends on the DM because the DM is the one that is gonna tell the story. The DM is the one that how they're gonna move their character to what point A to point B. The players is going to be the one that's going to be looking at this and say, I'm just going to, they're going to pick something else instead of a drow or an orc. You have a half orc. Orc is based mostly a monster. How you get a half orc? Well, you can guys get the idea of it. Ever watch Goblin Slayer anime? There you go. Why don't you have goblins as a good citizen as it is, instead of a crazy little green guy goes around and torment and torture and set up traps and loot and everything? How about that? The drow. They're not dark in complexion. They range from dark black to light gray. From different houses and different things. They have a rich history, and it is very interesting when you read the books for it as well. If you guys want me to put out the books down for the drows and the society and stuff, let me know. I'll put down a link below. I have Grim that can help me out from the Dark Titan Enterprise that can actually, talk more about it than I can, because he played D&D longer than me. He played probably since the first 8 D&D books came out. I started playing 3.5 and then dabble back to AD&D because that's how my dad started. Then I played a little bit of 4, didn't really like it. I kept majority of the books because I like having a lot of these books to give me ideas of adventures and monsters and to put in everything else as well. Then I got a lot of 5th edition books, as you can see back there. So it is kind of worrying to see this. If it happens, it's gonna happen. Then it happens. Then it's gonna be a huge backlash. It's gonna be a huge a backlash. I'll say, a lot of us DM will not follow that rule. We'll rip that page and throw it out. because we're going to go back to the original 5e player's handbook. We might look at it. If you do that to erase, we're just not going to use that book. We're just going to use the regular 5e book for it. You can't, you might stop printing it, but there's enough 5th edition, 5e first edition books out right now, and we also can get the original from the PDF if we have to. If that's the case, then that's the case, I guess. It is appalling to see how a company just gives in, especially for a fantasy genre. I don't understand. I really don't. Anyhow, guys, let me know what you guys think. Subscribe, like, and share, and I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great day, guys. Bye.